Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And now the next movie review we'll be doing is a film that is another film that me and my brother we watched. We saw in the theater back in 2006, and we both enjoyed the film. And to this day, I still enjoyed it. I know I don't think it's this film. I remember this film was very hyped back then. The whole internet was hyping it up, and the advertising, and but then upon its release, it didn't exceed the expectations that the people who were advertising make all this big hype about it. It didn't live up to their expectations, sadly. Although it has still is, I think it does still have still has a cult status still, but I don't think people are not as hyped about this movie as it was back then. But me and my brother, we still enjoy this movie still. And I'm glad we saw this back in 2006. And so the film I'll be reviewing is of Snakes on a Plane. And this is a film I also wanted to review for quite some time as well. There's a lot of films I want to review, but just never got around to though. But this is one of them. So Snakes on a Plane, starring Samuel L. Jackson. But it's funny because Samuel Jackson, he's basically in everything now. Funny how that is though. He's in all the Marvel movies, been all the other stuff all other films, and even including starring in the next Saw film, which that got delayed though. But still, even starring in the Saw movie, the one with Chris Rock. So he's basically starring in everything. Well, because Samuel Jackson is one of the biggest names in Hollywood, so. But I enjoy Samuel Jackson, as an actor still, from Die Hard with a Vengeance, Jurassic Park, Pulp Fiction, many movies before he started in the Marvel movies, just many movies, and I enjoy him in this film as Agent Flynn. He was very fun to watch, of course, and the film was directed by David R. Ellis, who's now sadly no longer with us. May rest in peace. David R. Ellis. His first film that he did was the sequel I enjoyed, Homeward Bound 2: Lost in San Francisco, and other films that he directed I also like. He directed Final Destination 2. He directed the fourth one, The Final Destination. That's what it's called though, but I call it Final Destination 4. But because the Final Destination is not really because there was a fifth one after that, so. But that was a prequel still. But Final Destination 2 and 4, he directed those. And then he directed, which I think is a very underrated movie, he directed Cellular with Jason Statham, Chris Evans, William H. Macy, and Kim Basinger. That's a great movie, I would say. That's a very enjoyable thriller. And underrated as well, especially with Larry Cohen, who helped write that movie as well, and that's another guy who also passed away last year as well. But Cellular is definitely, I say, is an underrated movie. And he directed those movies. He directed a film called Asylum that was direct to video though, but I haven't seen that film. And the last film that he directed, sadly, I was not a fan of though, and that was Shark Night from 2011. Shark Night 3D was called. But although he was mostly known as but he didn't direct that many movies though. But he was mostly known as a second unit director because most of the credits he has is like a second unit director and also stunts as well. So. Yeah, but he was mostly like a second unit director. He was a second unit director for Fatal Attraction, Thunderheart, Patriot Games, Forever Young, Beethoven Second, Soldier with Kurt Russell, Sphere, Deep Blue Sea, Perfect Storm, Exit Wounds, even for Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter film, and The Matrix Reloaded, R.A.P.D., 47 Ronin, and and the last one he did was like Winter's Tale. Well, that was like probably, I think he died around there. Yeah, second unit, but that's as a second unit director. But the films I've listened directed though, but. I enjoy Homeward Bound 2. Final Destination 2 I liked. The fourth one, no. Shark Night 3D I was not a fan of, though. But Cellular is underrated. I would say that's his best movie. I love Cellular. It's a great movie, so I think that's his best movie. But I had fun with this movie too. So I think he did a good job with this movie too. I had fun with it still, despite some issues with it. I still had fun with the movie as like a fun. B movie, dealing with creature feature stuff, especially with snakes. Well, Anaconda for one. I love Anaconda. Although I do think Anaconda is better than this though, but the idea though, because they wanted to make a crazy movie. Hey, put snakes on a plane, especially with a title and the poster like this, and like I said, they were very hyping this movie a lot. They really gave us a whole lot of hype, especially with the, like I said, with like the poster, the title, even with the music videos and just a whole bunch. They were really hyping this up, and then when the film, and especially adding Samuel Jackson into this as well. But when the film came out, though. It didn't live up to the It didn't live up to the hype or the expectations that the people behind the scenes wanted. So like it opened up number one though, but it was like a weak 1,500 million number one though. So they expected a bit more higher than that. And although it did kind of like surpass like the how much they made domestically. Well, it quickly fell. It dropped fast in its second weekend, and then the next weekend after that. But worldwide, it made 62 million, somewhat of a budget of 30-some million. So it just didn't make that much. It wasn't that much of a bigger hit as they wanted to. So that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't that much big of a hit. But critics are mixed on it though. It does have a 69% Rotten Tomatoes. I guess I see it's solid enough, I would say. Although it has much more lower rating on IMDb. It has like a 5.4, I think it was. So yeah, critics were really more mixed on this. But yeah. But I still thought it was a fun movie. And like I said, me and my brother saw us back at the theater in 2006. So because I remember 2006 was a year for some certain films that me and my brother watched together in the theater, and this was one of them. And then, of course, how can I forget? 2 months after this came out, of course, me and my brother saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the Beginning, which was also released by New Line Cinema years before it merged with Warner Brothers, though. But still, yeah, like 2 months after this, because another New Line Cinema movie, and that was Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the Beginning. My brother also saw that as well. This film was a lot better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the Beginning, let me tell you. Got more fun out of this than that, and that was a shitty prequel. Especially with its dumbass ending. But again, getting off topic though, but with the plot, it's simple. A guy by the name of Sean. It takes place in Hawaii, where a guy named Sean, he's a surfer, and played by Nathan Phillips. He's wandering around and he witnesses a murder. This prosecutor, by this gang leader, but Eddie Kim. He witnesses the guy getting murdered, and the guy's finding where he lives, and Samuel Jackson protects him. Saying, "Do as I say, and you live." As FBI Agent Flynn. So he wants to go to Los Angeles and testify against the guy. And the bad guy, Eddie Kim, he, with his informants or whatever, he manages to smuggle into the airplane a bunch of poisonous snakes. And there's your title, Snakes on a Plane. A whole bunch of different variety of poisonous snakes. Which the idea, like I said, the idea is a fun, kind of crazy idea. Because The film does live up to its title, no doubt about it. Besides the poster, it does live up to its title, Snakes on a Plane. And you get some other characters. That's it is one of the issues I have with the film. Like for the main characters that I know of, like especially Samuel Jackson's Agent Flynn, Nathan Phillips as Sean, Julianna Margulies. I sorry I mispronounced her last name though, as Claire. The last film I reviewed that she was in. She was in. Actually, no, wait, hold on. No, there was another film I read that was like her first film. I think she debuted when she was in Steven Seagal's Out for Justice. She was like the girl, like with the Richie, was and at the end of the movie was with her in her place, her, and she was she was in Out for Justice, and then of course, like I said, the one our review where she was the star in it, and that was of Ghost Ship. She starred in Ghost Ship, where she was the lead, and I was not a fan of Ghost Ship though. I know my friend Peter Freakout 10, he's a fan of Ghost Ship though, but me personally, I'm not. But you can check my rant on that in his review for on Ghost Ship though, Peter Freakout 10. So like I said, yeah, I wasn't a fan of Ghost Ship, but she was in it, and honestly, overall, didn't care about her character in Ghost Ship though. But here, Julianna Margulies, I thought she did better here than she did in Ghost Ship. I thought she did as Claire. I thought she did better. Her character was better here than in Ghost Ship. Then another character, you have Bobby Cannavale, who plays Agent Harris, who's in Los Angeles. Of course, Bobby Cannavale's been in other movies I've seen him in, especially when he was in of course, the MCU. He was in the Ant-Man movies. Before that, other films, he was in Paul Blart Mall Cop, though. But of course, the new Jumanji movie, the first one, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, where he was Van Pelt. I'm sorry, I did not like that movie, but him as Van Pelt. I'm sorry, Jonathan Hyde from the 1995 film with Robin Williams. Jonathan Hyde was a much better Van Pelt than he was in that movie. But you have him as well, and then you have Kenan Thompson, from Kenan and Kel, which I like. It's a show that me and my brother grew up watching on Nickelodeon, Kenan and Kel, especially if I'm all starring in all that as well. Which also starring, of course, in Good Burger too, which I met his friend Kel, which you see my video on that, me meeting Kel Mitchell. But Kenan, it was cool seeing, because I like Kenan. He's like one of the bodyguards to this rapper who was like a little bit of a germaphobe, like hand sanitizer and all that, and played by Flex Alexander. Other characters, you have the co-pilot Rick, played by David Koechner, who's been in a lot of comedy movies, which I was okay. I recognize that guy, David Koechner. And you have Lynn Shay as the senior flight attendant named Grace, which Lynn Shay she starred in the Insidious movies, the Insidious films. But as for the other characters, I all did not care for. Like this, probably there's the girl with the dog. Of course, there's the asshole who throws the dog to the big snake. That guy. Yeah, we have a woman with a baby, and the other the rapper's other bodyguard who got bit in the ass. And then you have the young flight attendant like what Nathan Phillips likes. The other one, and you have the other the guy flight attendant who was like a little bit goofy though. Although he did get a cool moment where he sticks a snake in a microwave. Yeah, he sticks the snake in a microwave and goes, ha ha ha, who's your daddy now, bitch? Although I did like that was a cool moment where he sticked in the microwave. But overall his character was not that, to me, interesting though. So mostly besides some of the cast members I mentioned, but the characters I just didn't care for. But there was other, I forgot to mention, there was the snake expert that when they learned the poisonous snakes, Bobby Cannavale gets this one guy who's like a snake expert to identify these poisonous snakes. I think he was alright, the guy who played the snake expert. He was alright. That's when he was talking with Sam Jackson on the phone. He goes like, "Make it fast. Time is tissue." And the guy's like, Sam Jackson's like, "Time is what?" So after that, the plane takes off and the snakes are released. And of course, you have the little funny moment where, of course, you get more of the craziness of this movie. Of course, you have to have a couple making out in the laboratory or bathroom. And I completely forgot that he was in this. I really forgot he was in this because it was a minor character. But Taylor Kitsch, Taylor Kitsch, who played Gambit from X-Men Origins Wolverine, of course, starring in Battleship, and he was in the film Lone Survivor, and was Savages, Oliver Stone's Savages, and yeah, I forgot Taylor Kitsch was. Oh yeah, of course, I forget John Carter. That's the one, the huge Disney flop, John Carter. Yeah, Taylor Kitsch. He was that guy that was making out with a woman in the bathroom when the snakes came down. And he got bit in the neck here. I was like, I forgot. Oh crap, that's Taylor Kitsch. Which honestly, I'm not a fan of him as an actor either, because I did not like Battleship, and was not a fan of. I didn't like John Carter, and wasn't. Oh yeah, I did not like X-Men Origins Wolverine. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of Taylor Kitsch though. But I was like, I reckon. Oh yeah, that's Taylor Kitsch. I didn't know. I forgot he was in this movie. But he gets bit in the neck, and then of course the lady got bit in the boob though. Like I said, it just shows like how the silliness and craziness when we put the snakes on a plane. And I forgot to mention, yeah, that's another issue I have with the movie is that the CGI on the snakes, it doesn't hold. Even from 2006 to now, the CGI is not good at all. That's an issue. That's another issue I have is the CGI snakes. It was not good at all. I mean, they could have had done like a little bit of practical effects. I mean, of course, Anaconda, prime example. Anaconda had a balance of a little bit of CGI though, but mostly well done animatronic snakes. Could take a page out of Cannavale, mix it with a little bit of CGI and with some animatronic puppets or whatever, and but not all CGI. Yeah, because the CGI in this movie, especially for the snakes, are not good at all. So it's like some of the issues, like I said, with the CGI snakes and most of the supporting characters I didn't care for. But I think that's like that's like the main two issues I have with it. So let's say it is like my stomach is agreeing with me. It made me burp because those are the two issues I have with it. Yeah, CGI snakes and didn't care for most of the supporting characters. Like the ones I could care about was like especially Sam Jackson, Julianna Margulies, and Nathan Phillips, and then like I said, when the snakes are released, they're biting everybody left and right. You did do some cool craziness with some of the kills, like especially like I said, like the scene in the bathroom with Taylor Kitsch and the other girl, like the neck and the boob, and or when this fat lady, well, I say fat lady, but like the snake crawls up her dress and then it bites her in the eye, or a woman was about to vomit in a bag and ends up biting her in the tongue, and in the aftermath shows like she's like foaming at the mouth, or another guy goes to the bathroom and gets bit in the dick. Even the guy's like, "Hey, get on my dick, man." So you do get some crazy snake where the snakes bite. So you get some craziness with that, and then they get these two kids like the little brother gets bit in the arm. He doesn't die though, but he gets saved. But he gets bit in the arm by a cobra. Or some other craziness, like one guy keeps getting stepped on, and a guy gets like a heel stabs like right here, either the neck or the ears, and gets stabbed with the heel and breaks off. Or when a scene where the staircase, when they're trying to get the staircase and the rails break off, you got a guy get impaled in the neck, another one falls and gets impaled through here. So you get some cool some craziness with some like snake bites and some other like oh shit moments, like the heel in the neck or stabbed right here in the neck here. Or of course, we mentioned like the asshole who hated the dog goes and throws that dog into the big snake, feeds to the big snake. Great, that of course that makes you want to hate that guy more. Even the more the woman that's like who had the dog is like, I hate you. But of course that guy gets what he deserves. He gets wrapped and squeezed to death by that big snake. Starts eating him. Then when the pilot gets killed and the David Koechner, like he gets bit in the arm, he falls down into that hole, but he's still alive yet. And when the AC when there's no AC, Sam Jackson has to go down there and turn it on manually. And you also another bit of bad CGI is when he has a spray can. I mean, couldn't have done this with it for real though. But like he has a spray can with a lighter, to make it like a little flamethrower. He sees it with some snakes and he's burning it. That's another bad CGI. Clearly, that's a bad CGI moment where he's with the flame. I know I'm just nitpicking it though, but I'm saying when I see it, it is a bad CGI effect when he's using the little spray can flamethrower on the flames. That is bad CGI. I can clearly see that. But still, but Sam Jackson, he was fun in the role as well. But he does get a couple of badass moments as well. And then of course the famous line of the movie when when David Koechner he gets killed, but there was more snakes and Kenan who learned his lessons learned his flying lessons from a PlayStation 2 video game. They wanted to see he can have him to fly the plane, and of course Sam Jackson says the famous line. That's one of the main things this film was known for. Is Sam Jackson's famous line: "Enough is enough. I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Everyone strap in. About to open some fucking windows." Wherever anybody mentions this movie, it's that famous line. Just ask anyone. Everyone who mentions snakes on a plane, it's that line that Sam Jackson says. That's what. Basically what this That's basically what this Basically it has an R rating because I think for most of the movie there wasn't that too many F-bombs in this until when Sam Jackson says the F-bomb and more towards the end. If it wasn't for that, I think this could have been pretty much the PG-13 if it wasn't for that at the end. But yeah. Or when Kenan says, fuck Mandy and his high score. Yeah, so like they save all the F-bombs towards the end of the movie, but the rest of the movie, for the beginning, the middle, and towards the very end, it was mostly no F-bombs, so it was most of the movie was PG-13 until the last 10 minutes. But yeah. But after Sam Jackson says that famous line, and then shoots the windows, all the snakes fall out of the plane, including that big one had the guy still in there. And Kenan, he tells you he learned all his flight simulations from the video game. And Sam Jackson's like, is that PlayStation or an Xbox? PlayStation 2. But Kenan, it was fun. It was fun to see him because I enjoyed Kenan and Kel, and it was fun to see him in this. And he managed to land the plane safely. And Sam Jackson's there, like, yeah, oh, praises to the PlayStation. And McKean's like, fuck Brandy and his high score. Fuck, that's my own brother. And I say, fuck him. And then Nathan Phillips gets attacked by the one snake, and Sam Jackson shoots it, but he had a bulletproof vest on. And the little boy got bit. He gets saved, and with the anti-venom. And then Sam Jackson gets a little surfing lesson from Nathan Phillips. So yeah, snakes on a plane. I still enjoy this film despite the issues some of the supporting characters I don't care for though, and especially especially the CGI, especially on the snakes, and also including that little the flame effect there from the spray can. But still, I still had fun with the film. The premise of it is crazy, but it does live up to its title, Snakes on a Plane. Sam Jackson, I thought he was fun in the role, especially with that famous line. Julianna Margulies, I thought she did fine too. Bobby Cannavale, for the most part, he was fine too. Nathan Phillips as well. David Koechner as Rick. I'm overall not too big on him though, but I didn't say he's not overall bad. Well, as an actor, so as far as the comedies he does though, but still, I don't think he's an overall. Well, I've seen worse actors in comedies though, but still, but for this role he was fine with because he had a little fun. He was like little fun moments where he was like talking with Julianna Margulies. He's like, "You must be the Sky Candy because you're looking delicious today." Or when he got bit, he's like, "Oh, Claire, I think I'm gonna need your shirt too." So he had a little bits of fun moments. Or when he saw the snake and he was hitting it, and it's like, "Oh, sorry about that. You won't believe we'll get it when what came out of the goddamn instrument panel. Look, a goddamn snake, honey." So, yeah, David Koechner, I thought he was fine what he had to do in this film. And Kenan, I thought it was fun to see him as well in there because I like Kenan Kel, and it was fun to see him in here. But yeah, most of the supporting characters I did not care for. Even the rapper guy, I thought he was like the one who was like a bit of a germaphobe, and I think he was a bit of a douche, basically. But of course, by the end, he's like, even though by then he apologizes to the girl and all that, though, but still. Some of the deaths I thought was crazy, like especially with the snakes bite, like get bite in the eye, bite in the tongue, the dick, and the boob, and or anywhere else, or bite in the ass. But overall, yeah, I still enjoyed the film. I think it's a fun creature feature B movie. Like essentially, the idea lives up to its title, Snakes on a Plane. Although there was a film like, was it before or after this? I can't remember though. It was a film called Snakes on a Train. That was bad. Snakes on a Train. I forgot it was either before or after this was released. This is much better. Yeah, I have heard of Snakes on a Train, but that was not good. This is much better. And but if you want to deal with other snake movies, Anaconda, I think I pretty much say Anaconda's the best snake film. I think a lot of people would agree with that. I think, so I don't remember that too many the Anaconda sequels. I mean, I did not mind the sequel, Hunt for the Blood Orchid. I reviewed that. Hunt for the Blood Orchid, I did not mind, but the rest of the sequels that was made for sci-fi, I didn't care for. I think in the third one, David Hasselhoff was in it. Yeah. I don't think that did not need to carry on as a franchise. I think Hunt for the Blood Orchid was good enough. But, I think Anaconda, to me, is still the best of the snake movies. Because, because I like Jennifer Lopez, I like Ice Cube, John Voight. There's people make fun of him in that role. He was a fun bad guy in that film. Jonathan Hyde, speak with him from Jumanji. Like I said, Jonathan Hyde. I like him too. And although Eric Stoltz, he was like limited in that movie though. That was an issue though. But Anaconda, I love Anaconda. It was very fun. I grew up with that movie. Yeah. I'm talking too fast. I'm starting again. I grew up with that movie. I watched the film so many times as a kid. I still have fun with it, especially mostly the third act, where I remember the most though. But still, I love Anaconda. I think I would say that is the best of the killer snake movies. I can't remember too many. Well, besides, like I said, Snakes on a Train, that was atrocious. But I think this will be one. I'll probably say either. If I can remember another good one, I think probably this would be second or third. Even despite the bad CGI though, despite that. I was trying to look at what other snake films I remember, but I can't remember anything else. But yeah. Oh yeah, Python. I forget. Yeah, that's right. Python. There was Boa, and then there was Boa versus Python. Yeah, I completely forgot about those. Yeah, because Python that starred had Robert Englund and Casper Van Dien in it, and Boa had Dean King. Yeah, and then Boa vs. Python starred David Hewitt, from Stargate Atlantis. I forgot about those films. God, I guess was it really that bad? Were they that bad? I forgot about it. Yeah, I think I'd probably say Snakes on a Plane is better than those movies. So I gotta say Anaconda is definitely the best one. But like I said, all the things I said about Snakes on a Plane, I still had fun with the film. overall, yeah, I still had fun with the film. My brother still had fun with the movie. I'm glad I saw this back in 2006. David R. Ellis, may he rest in peace. I wish he would go and direct more movies. Besides, listen, I love Cellular. I think that's his best film. I enjoy Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco. Final Destination 2, I liked. Asylum, I still not yet seen yet. The Final Destination, I'm not big on, and then his last film, Shark Night 3D, I was not a fan of either. But I think I wish he could have given him a couple more chances to direct a couple more good movies. So, but that's too bad. But David R. Ellis, I thought he did good on this film, despite the couple issues though. So yeah, David R. Ellis, may rest in peace. But yeah, that's my thoughts on my thoughts on Snakes on a Plane. Still have fun with the film. I'm sure a lot of people still like this film because of the crazy premise in the film, especially, and also the famous line that Sam Jackson says, like I said, "I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane." That's what this film was famous for, that line alone. But yeah, my thoughts on Snakes on a Plane. I still have fun with the film. If anyone hasn't seen it yet, give it a watch and see what you think about it. But thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next movie review. Later.